Hey there guys, welcome to another spin of the Big Wheel of Birth. My name is Alice Turner. I am a doula, a childbirth educator, and I love spinning the birth. Whatever topic we get, that's what we talk about. So let's spin and see what we've got today. Okay, today we've got visualization. Visualization is a natural pain management technique for labor. So it's a way to cope with the pain, the discomfort of labor naturally, so without medication. And it's one that I find particularly powerful. So let's talk about this technique. And then after that, let me give you some tips on making sure that this technique is effective for you to use in labor. Okay, so what visualization means is using your mind to create a picture of something that with the purpose of making, basically I like to talk about it as giving your mind a job. So in labor, what the job we don't want our mind to do is to be thinking things like, how long is this? How long is this labor going to be? How long have I been in labor? How much more do I have left? This is really bad. I really hate this. This is painful. I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. How do I get out of this? How do I leave? How do I stop? How do I, all of these kind of fearful and fighting and worry type thoughts. We really don't want our mind to go there during labor. And if you've never thought about labor and how to deal with pain, just insert a different physical challenge or a different life challenge into when I'm talking about labor. So say it's the first day of a job, right? You've got a new job coming. As you walk into the office or your new place of employment, you do not want your mind to be filled with things like, is this going to be okay? I really don't like this place. I don't feel good. I don't think I'm going to like working here. This is going to suck. That's really not helpful. It doesn't make for our best work experience, right? So just like that with labor, we want to try to remove those thoughts from our mind. And one nice way to kind of wipe the slate of those thoughts is to give it something else to think about, which is using visualization. So in the context of teaching and learning about visualization, a lot of people are exposed to the idea of visualizing a happy place. Put yourself in your happy place. You might have heard that before. And I know for many times that I would learn about this skill, I had instructors that would walk me through a visualization of a peaceful spot. Like maybe I remember one where they walked me through walking through the woods and following a deer. I had another time where I was visualizing walking to the beach, walking on the sand, what the beach was like, and that type of thing. Those are great. Those are fine. Those are good. But those aren't the one I actually teach in class. And so I'd love to share with you the visualization idea that I like to share. So I really suggest to visualize a place that you know really well. And the reason for this is that it's very specific and your mind doesn't wander in your visualization to like if you were visualizing the beach, sometimes I personally and with my clients, I found that their mind can wander to things like, which beach am I at? And is the sand hard or is the sand soft? Are there lots of waves or not many waves? That's not what we want. We really want something kind of definite that we can go to, an image that we can quickly build in our minds. Now, a client of mine used a visualization that was awesome. She came up with, and I think she came up with, it just kind of popped into her head when I said, think about a place that you know really well. And when she was in labor, she visualized her grocery shopping trip. She knew it really well, and she would visualize walking into her grocery store when the contraction started. She closed her eyes and she visualized walking into the grocery store, getting out the cart. She visualized getting a wet cloth from the display and wiping off her cart handle. Then she would go into the bakery and get her bread, go into the fruits and vegetables, pick out things that she always got. And in that contraction, she would wind her way, her mind, picturing all of those things. Now, stop for a second and tell me, can you not picture your grocery store? You might not. Now, full disclosure, I'm an Instacart lover, so I don't know my grocery store very well anymore. But there probably is a place that you know that's very basic like that you could think about as a visualization in labor. So, if you are someone who would like to try this technique, and I think that is everyone should try it out, but please, please, please practice ahead of time. So when you have a moment alone, take a bath, sit in a room alone, do something that is very quiet. This is not a technique you can use while driving. I do not suggest that. Really, we need to keep our minds on the road. But we can use birth affirmation practice when we drive, which is in a video that I will link down below. But for this particular technique, we want to be alone. We want to probably be in a quiet space, not necessarily because your birth room won't be quiet, so you don't necessarily have to practice it in a quiet space. But give yourself the length of a regular contraction, say 1 minute, maybe set your timer for a little bit over a minute, and create a picture in your mind. Use visualization. So, I think the ways for this to be most effective in labor is to practice ahead of time and to choose something that is really basic. One other example, I remember I had a client that she said she lived in New York City for a while, and she would walk to her work. So she said she would visualize leaving her apartment, locking the door, walking down the 2 flights of stairs, through the lobby, out the door, past certain shops as she walked to her place of work. So it was something that was really set in her mind that she could go to. And then if you practice ahead of time and you have something to go to, then in labor, make sure that your support team is aware that you've been practicing it, because they can remind you, they can say, then the next contraction, why don't you go to your visualization spot? And they can give you that information so that it will trigger you to use that technique. So it's usually something where you can close your eyes and visualize during the contraction, and then once the contraction is over, go back to your regular restful breathing techniques. So visualization in labor can be a really powerful tool. I will link to the other techniques, some of the other techniques down below. So check out links to some of our other natural coping techniques for labor and childbirth below. Also, we have over 40 already in the books topics and videos, and to make them more organized, we have put them together in a free course called Birth A to Z, and I'd love for you to get in and check out those videos. They are structured like this one will be under the coping techniques section and comfort measures section, and we also have like a labor and anatomy and before the birth and all sorts of good stuff in there. Take a look and get in. It is free. So thanks for joining me today on the Big Wheel of Birth, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.